Welcome back, everybody. Groceries here. I want to do a loadout of my PCT through hike this year. As you know, I have already made an attempt last year. It was a failed attempt, mostly because I broke my foot. Didn't have time to finish. I'm here to finish it, and then possibly, if I have time, go back and do what I did last year, just so that I can call it a complete through hike. But my first order of business is to finish it. I have a bunch of new stuff I'd love to show you. This year is going to be totally different loadout than last year. It's going to be a much lighter loadout, but at the same time, I believe a little more effective. Anyway, let's jump in. Let's move on to the tent. The tent that I chose is the same tent that I chose last year. This is kind of my go-to choice. I do have alternatives that I've been touting over the years, such as the Lanshan 2 Pro. I went with the duplex over the Altiplex simply for room. I like the size of the duplex. It allows me to put all my stuff inside the tent. That's important to me, especially in inclement weather. I did get a new stuff sack for it this year. I am going to try to keep it inside the pack, unlike previous years where I would strap it to the bottom outside of the pack. I am going to try and keep it inside, but I will keep it high up in the pack. I'm going to use with this tent mini groundhogs. I've got 8 of them total, but I'm going to say that this year I changed up something. I actually am bringing 2 regular groundhogs, just for each side of the vestibule. These are to give me a little more security, a little more stability, a little more strength. And they're also contained in a nice little Dyneema bag. This tent also requires trekking poles. This is a trekking pole tent. The tent weighs 17 ounces, but it requires trekking poles. So I love the Z-Packs trekking poles. They're carbon fiber, they're super light. They are a cork handle, which I really love, but there is foam at the bottom for when you need to choke up on it a little bit on the uphills. I just have the regular stock baskets on them, but I think I might grab some bigger baskets for the snow, because otherwise these will just go down into the snow and not be of much use for me when I'm using them. I don't need an extension for these when I'm using the duplex, unlike the Altiplex, where I would actually need to get another piece, which weighs about 4 ounces. This way I can just use these during the day, use them at night for my tent, and it's great. I've also taken Leuco tape and wrapped it around one, and I used duct tape and wrapped it around the other. This way I don't have to keep big rolls in my pack. It's a little lighter. The poles are so light anyway that even having these on are fine. I mean, it's not really extra weight. Okay, let's move on to the sleep system. First things first, my pad. This is a pad that I've started just using recently. This is the Thermarest NeoAir X-Lite NXT. This is the next generation version called the NXT. I got this in a regular size but wide, or like regular length and wide. The beautiful part of this thing is that this thing, even in the wide, weighs the same as last year's version in the narrow, which would have been 2 ounces more. And I tell you, I've been using this, and I love this. Like, I love the extra 5 inches. I don't know why, but I'm a tosser and turner. I need room. I need room to move, and I just find that this actually keeps me warmer because my arms and the sides that aren't as close to the ground at night. The comfort level of this is just unsurpassed for me. I would prefer the Uberlite, which is also a wide, and it's a Thermarest, but it's just not warm enough, especially up in the Sierras. However, I might swap this out for the Uberlite after the Sierras, which would save me probably about 6 or 7 ounces, which would be great. This year I did something different. Excuse me, something a little lighter. Is using the pump sack to store it in and to fill it up with. As you know, in prior prior through hikes, I've used a pump, like an electric, battery powered pump, which really is only slightly heavier than this. The convenience of it was really nice. However, I can now use this and double this up as a laundry bag when I go into town. In previous years, I've used my Nylafume liner, but it's not very discreet. I don't really want people seeing my underwear and stuff when I'm walking through town doing laundry. I don't know. I guess as I get older, stuff like that is important. Something new for this year. That is something I'm really excited to try. And the other reason is last year I used the Thermarest, but I used the X-Therm. It was their warmest pad, and it was 6.9 R rating. This one was, last year's version of this was 3.9. It wasn't warm enough. This year's version of this, however, is 4.5. So I'm thinking that gives me just enough extra warmth to be able to use the lighter pad as opposed to going right up to the X-Therm and having so much more extra weight. I think it's like 4 or 5 ounces extra weight that I really didn't have to have. Something brand new for this year. This is my first time trying it. This is the UGQ Bandit quilt. This quilt is such a departure from my usual Enlightened equipment. I think it's called the Enigma that I was using. Or no, sorry, the Revelation. I was using the Revelation, which was a toe box that was attached with a rope, like a bungee cord. You would squish it together. This year I went for a sewn-in foot box with extra insulation. This quilt is already 950 fill, but with the extra foot box, I now no longer need to bring down booties or extra feet, like warmth for my feet. For me, if my feet are cold, I'm cold. It's just that simple. This thing is a beast as far as like insulation around my feet, well, everywhere. This quilt is a beast. It is a beast. I have this is a 20-degree quilt, and I can tell you honestly that although it's 4 ounces heavier than the Enlightened Equipment 20, it's way warmer. I mean, it's unbelievably warmer. Also, something else I really like about it is that rather than a zipper here, which, as you know, zippers get caught, zippers can break much easier. These have little snaps, and it has a pull, like a shock cord kind of bungee system here that allows me to cinch the sides. This is amazing. I can't even tell you how amazing this is. It also has a system with just loops here for actually attaching the straps to go underneath your pad. And I really like this because they're not permanent. You know what I mean? Once you have straps that are attached to these, even if they're clipped in, if anything goes wrong with that clip, you're in trouble. These here are much like they stretch, so there's some give to them. So the likelihood that they're going to rip the fabric or whatever is far less than with the Enlightened equipment. Also, I got all the bells and whistles. It's a 950 fill. I got the nice big collar around the top. It still has the same system as the Enlightened equipment here for cinching, around your neck. This is also, the fabric is also thicker than the Enlightened equipment. So I'm not sure yet if that's good or bad. It makes it, like I said, it's 4 ounces heavier. So, but I don't know if you remember the video where I had holes in my Enlightened equipment quilt. The material was so light, it was like 10 denier. This here feels like it's about, I wouldn't say it's 20, but I'm sure it's all of 14 denier. So it is thicker material. It'll be more durable material. It'll have a little more of an insulating factor to it. I've had a chance now to use it for a couple nights, and I can tell you this quilt is warm. It is so much warmer than the 20-degree Revelation. So I'm looking forward to that, especially in the mountains and the Sierras and stuff like that. If by chance I find that this is too much, I might get a 30 sent out, like a 30-degree sent out, again with 950, and use that. And that way I save some weight, but more importantly, I round out my system so that I have a quilt for every occasion. You know, like this way, in warmer summer temperatures, I can go to a 30 or a 40 degree, have a much lighter, smaller, you know, a more compact quilt for the conditions that I'm facing. I also still have my 0-degree Revelation from Enlightened Equipment. So I've got, I think, in my opinion, you know, the temperature ranges are covered. I did go for rock and blue this time. I got to choose my colors, so I went black inside and blue on the outside. Finally rounding out the sleep system. This is, again, a Sea to Summit. I believe this is Sea to Summit. Yeah, it's the Reactor. Sea to Summit Reactor liner. 100% polyester. This one is the plus 25 degrees, so this will add 25 degrees of warmth. Okay, my ditty bag. I have greatly reduced the size of my ditty bag this year. I don't need to go into too much detail as far as what's inside of it, but I can tell you that I still keep a hairbrush. I don't have as many earplugs in it. I have just one repair kit, some tape for repairing my tent. That's important. My toothbrush, I use, as you know, purple's my favorite color. I use this is the same toothbrush I've had since last PCT. I have very thick hair. I need something. I've got, this is as light as I could find. I've been using this for years. It's a great hairbrush. I have earplugs for those snoring kind of people. I also use a waterproof little case, very, very light plastic case with rubber seal around it. And it keeps all of my SD cards here. But what else have we got in here? I keep some Imodium tablets. I jumped up from a 2 terabyte to a 4 terabyte. I use a SanDisk Extreme. It's called an Extreme water purification system. I'm running a little low on this. There's a huge outbreak of noro right now on the trail. This is of concern to me. I might pick up some more aqua tablets for filter, well, not filtering, but for treating water. I would already filter the water anyways, but around noro, whenever there's an outbreak, I'll also add this as a treatment to my water, because noro is such a nasty, nasty virus. Got to do it. Just have to do it. Okay, moving on to my electronics bag. Now, this was a conundrum for me. I was going to take this and merge this with my ditty bag. And I still think that may be a good idea. But however, I haven't done it yet. It's just not available to me as an option right now for deliveries. I'm going to stick with the Nitecore NB 20,000. This is a 20,000 milliamp battery backup. This is the one I got to replace the ones that got soaked, that got destroyed on the AT. As you can see, I have Shaw's Hiker Hostel sticker still on it. But hey, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. It's still working great, and I'll continue to use it until it gives up the ghost and dies. Cables. So I do keep one high-speed USB-C to USB-C cables. These are really good for fast data transfer. You got to make sure, if you're going to do this and you don't want to have to wait hour after hour to transfer, then you really need to look at this. I have one little short cable that's USB-C to Lightning, because believe it or not, my AirPods are still Lightning. And then I have this from my Garmin. I have a Garmin watch. It's the Instinct watch. It tracks really nicely for me, and unfortunately it's still USB-A, and it has its own proprietary little connector here. So I mean, I have no choice. I have to use this cable. It's the only cable I can use for that. It's really nice I'm not on the Camino anymore, because I can go back to my tiny little, very light 30 amp Anchor PD system for charging. I could go with a bigger one. I could go up to 60 watts, but the 60-watt charger is so heavy. I mean, I've got at least one night wherever I'm going to go for a hostel or you know, a hotel or motel. I mean, I can use this, plug it into a wall. Oh, that's why I've got the extra USB-C. I can plug this into the wall, USB-C, charge one device while I use my backup. I can use my brick to charge another device. So get all the devices charged. Then when I go to bed at night, I just plug the brick in. I call it the brick. I plug in the brick and let it just fill up overnight. It'll be ready to go in the morning. And I don't have to zero just for charging stuff. So for me, it's a good system. It works really well. And when I get a chance and I get a good Dyneema bag that fits everything, I will merge my electronics kit into my Diddy bag. I'll just put it into a little Ziploc, keep it separate, just organized, but keep it in my Diddy bag because it will save a little bit of weight. You know, I mean, it's maybe only 6 or 7 grams, maybe a quarter of an ounce, but I mean, grams become ounces, ounces become pounds. Why not? Why not take advantage of every advantage? Take advantage of everything you can. Thought I said that right. As always, I'm going to use smart water bottles, 1 liter, for storing my water, for carrying my water. One thing I've changed this year compared to last year is that I no longer bring a CNOC, a knock, Vecto bladder with me. The weight is just not justified. These are so much lighter. If I go into an area where I feel like I have to carry more than, because right now I have the capacity for 3 liters. If I need to go more than that, great. 3 liters for me will last 20 miles, which is nice. So unless I have a water carry that's bigger than that, I may actually carry an empty 3rd bottle. Right now I have 2 of these, 1 liter. So I will always have 1 or 2 liters full. So I have 2 liters there, and I also have 1 liter in my filter, like it's the bladder. Speaking of the bladder, here it is. I have a Be-Free. I'm sticking with the Be-Free. I've been tempted to go with the platypus system because it is lighter and the flow is fantastic in the platypus system. But for now, I'm just going to use this till it dies. I just don't see the point in spending the extra money right now until I have to. This is a fairly new filter. I have filtered maybe about 100 liters. Oh, hell no, not even that. Maybe 75 liters on the Camino with this particular one. So I won't need to replace it for quite a while. And because I'm drinking so much less water, I'm hoping that this, this filter will last much longer. But this is my tried and true. Again, something new, brand new for this year. And I love this. I've had a chance to use this for a while now. And what this is the Hyperlight Mountain Gear HMG Versa. I think it's called a Versa. And it's a fanny pack that I just love. I love it. And I'm going to continue to use it. It's big enough for my phone. There's a little pocket here in the back for my phone. I can put my wallet up front. Now, a lot of you, if you did watch, I used for years the Light AF fanny packs. They didn't last very long for me at all. I got maybe 700 or 800 miles out of one. I'm hoping to get more than that out of this. We'll see as time goes on. This is roughly the same price. It has a pocket in the front, a pocket in the back, a pocket on the inside, and then a very nice big pocket inside. I chose black so it didn't show the dirt, because the white ones, just like the packs, the HMG packs, they look so raggedy after a while. They get so dirty so fast. The nice thing I like about this one is it doesn't have the clip. It's not designed for the clip to be right in the middle of your back, because a lot of times the pack sits on that clip and it just digs into your back. So you always have to try to push it over to the side so that it's not digging in. This is nice because it's already designed that way for it to come around and sit, on your side, which is nice. So yeah, brand new. Oh, and it's also padded. It's got a nice it's got padding here, which could be good or bad. I'm not sure. I know it adds weight, Also, the pocket is accessible here, but it's also accessible on the sides. You can stick stuff in the sides, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to trying it for sure. Attempt to save weight. This year I went with a little bag for my glasses. Last year I used the Oakley hard case, but I weighed them out, and this here is 7.5 grams lighter. Now, mind you, it is soft. It's a soft shell case. It's padded. It has a built-in wipe thing to wipe your glasses with. It's soft on the inside. And what I'll do is, during the day, I'll put my reading glasses in here and store it on the outside of the pack. And during the night, I'll take my sunglasses and put them in here and leave my reading glasses out. So I really only ever need one. Now, I could attach it with a little loop, but that kind of freaks me out a bit. I don't like things dangling from my pack. I just find it's kind of cheesy, and it's not streamlined. It kind of moves you around a bit. When, like, I used to have my Crocs just dangling. Not good. Not good to have anything dangling. I try now to just keep everything, you know, inside my pack. Why? I don't know. When I figure it out, I'll let you know. But for now, that's what I do, and I like this thing. It's pretty cool. Anyway, food bag. I got another one of these last fall. It kind of looks ratty, but it's still going. This is my second one of these. Peace, Love, and Blisters. It's a Hilltops pack food bag, and I keep inside a OPSAC lock sack. So this is probably familiar to a lot of you. Oh, it's already starting to rip. These are not very good. They're not very durable. But anyways, when you need it in a pinch to give you an extra layer of protection, they're great. The thing I like about this one is it really fits. It's, you know, unlike the Z-Packs one where the bag was much wider. I just don't need a big food bag. I don't carry a lot. I've got stuff in here right now. It's missing is some cheese, which is in the fridge. And I'm good for 4 days with just this. This is fine for me. I know there's tortilla there. It's all I can do. That's why they call me groceries. I'm always bitching about food on trail. However, I've just got meat and cheese. That's all I'm going to carry for food for now. When I get into town, I'll round out my diet by eating like a pig on town days. Other foods, you know. But for now, this is really all I need. Do I need a stove with this setup? No. That's the other beautiful part of it. I don't need a stove, and I don't need to cold soak. But if I do have I do have a stove here, and if I do need to use it, it's going to be the Toaks 750 with the Toaks long-handled titanium spoon. I don't use a spork. And no, I brought the jet boil stove because it's more efficient, much more efficient than the Pocket Rocket, and it's 15 grams lighter. And it has a built-in igniter, and the whole thing still is only 45 grams. I could go with the BRS. Yes, I know it's only 26 grams, but for 20 grams, I weighed the Bic lighters, even the mini lighters, and they're like 18 grams. So really, I'm not saving a lot of weight, but I get the efficiency of having a jet boil stove over a BRS. Now, if you've ever tried the BRS stoves, they're terrible. They're terrible for efficiency. They'll go through a 4-ounce isobutane canister in like 12 to 15 boils, and it's done. I can get 25 to 30 boils out of the jet boil stove with the same size canister. And I have a video on this already. You're welcome to go check it out. And it goes over some of these strategies with the stoves and how sometimes the super ultralight stove isn't always the best stove to have, right? Anyways, I did choose to go with the jet boil stove this time. However, I won't carry it. I'm going to send it on up the trail. In areas where I have huge carries, where I don't have access to fresh food, like, you know, eggs, cheese, meat, dairy, which will only last for 2 or 3 days on trail anyway, after which I'm going to fast. It's a new experiment this year. I would rather fast than eat bad food. I won't eat ramen noodles. I won't eat mashed potatoes. I am so sick of those. I'm so sick of day after day eating that same stuff. And I might end up being sick of this too, but at least for now, it's novel. Chocolate bars and chips and peanuts and so it's just I can't continue to do that. It makes me sick. It really upsets my stomach. It's just crazy for me. But anyways, that's my explanation about my food system for this year. It's beautiful because I save on not carrying a stove. I carry less food. I have a smaller bag, and it's perfect for me. Okay, let's move on to clothing. I've done some different things this year, and mostly the same. Mostly the same. One thing I did do was I went on the Camino and I did try what's called the Mirage. It's a merino sun hoodie type of a top. It's the blue one that you saw in the Camino series. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. For me, it just didn't work. It was too much. On hot days, it was too hot. It didn't wick the moisture from me the way I thought it would, the way I expected it would. If it was a thinner merino, I think I could have done it. I went back to the Outdoor Research Echo Sun hoodie. I managed to get one in purple, and I really do like it. Pants, I'm going to stay with the Patagonia Quandary pants, women's, tall, because I'm 5'8". I love them. I've been using them for years. I stand by them. Socks, I'm sticking with the Darn Tough socks, and I did pick up a couple of new pairs. I use the crew cut, the ankle socks, and I like the padded ones. They're padded. Something I've been able to eliminate this year, which I really am happy about because they don't last, is Injinji. I no longer use Injinji socks. And maybe, perhaps, a big reason for that is because I'm sticking with the Hoka Stinson 7 shoes this year. I have on these shoes over 700 miles now, one pair of shoes. They're almost cooked. I think I've only got about 100 or 200 miles more on them for this year. This is the same as what I had on the Camino. The jury is still out on not the reliability, because these are reliable, but the durability. I was a little upset with some of the durability of this jacket. It's showing some wear already after 500 miles. This is the Enlightened Equipment Visp. I've been wanting this jacket for years, and I finally got my hands on one. I love the jacket. I love the weight of it. I love the waterproofness of it. I love the breathability of it. It breathes so nice. It's also a great wind jacket. It's a great town jacket for when I go to do laundry. I can just put this on, put my rain pants on, wash all my stuff, not worry about it. I even go commando so that I can wash everything, my underwear, everything. And this is part of that system. It has the pit zips, just like the Z-Packs one that I used prior did. And the thing I like about it is the zippers are much more discreet. They don't stick out, like they don't stick into under my arm as I'm moving. I really didn't like that about the Z-Packs. Also, I don't know if it's just the way they did it, but it's not taped, or actually it is taped, I'm sorry, but the taping is much better than what I had with the Z-Packs. With the Z-Packs, the taping comes off, it peels off. It was a real nuisance. I had to deal with it. This just looks like it's built better. It has the same type of system for cinching at the back, to set the visor part of it up a little better. And if you do look at buying one of these, just remember they're quite big. The fit on them are quite large. You can fit a full puffy and a top underneath and still have lots of room underneath these. So don't feel like you have to size up in order, when you're buying one of these. With the Z-Packs, I did have to size up in order to have, just the right amount of mobility with it to be able to move. But I love this jacket. It was under $300. Great jacket. Getting deeper into the clothes. So I also did something very similar to the AT this year. I hope this isn't too loud. This is a brand new Nyla Fume pack liner. And what I did different, these are the socks I use. What I did different this year is I went with the Merino Buff, a neck gaiter. I love neck gaiters. They're great. They keep the sun off the back of your neck. They're just wonderful, wonderful things to have. You can pull, you know, if it's really windy or a lot of dust is blowing around, you can pull it up over your face, cover your nose, cover your mouth. If it's a cold day, you can pull it up, keeps you a little bit warmer. Merino is nice. It's antimicrobial. It just, you know, stays cleaner longer. I don't know about durability. I tend to think that the Buff, like the brand name Buff, would last longer in the long run, but I don't know. The jury's still out on that. Fine purple. This is a Columbia PFG top, very similar to ones I've used in prior years. I love these tops. I do bring 2 tops. I know it sounds a little overkill, but I use these as part of a layering system. Instead of perhaps having like a complete set of night clothes separate, I now use like a liner, and I can put my rain gear as a top layer at night for extra warmth if I need to, because quite surprisingly the rain gear is very warm, which also gives me that barrier, you know, so my sweat isn't going into the quilt, right? So I've got the liner and I've got my rain gear, and then I've got 2 layers, top layers. I also have my puffy, which is not here yet. That's the Enlightened Equipment Apex Torrid. I went with full zip, like I did in prior years. My last one gave up the ghost. Well, it's not dead yet, but it's got tears and rips in it. It's got over 4,000 miles on it, and that's amazing for the price I paid for it. So I'm expecting any day for that to come. But the Columbia shirt, it's a little heavier than, say, my Echo Sun hoodie. It's heavier in fabric, it's also heavier in coverage, and it's also warmer. So I think it's a nice addition. It's just a nice layering system for me. It gives me 5 total layers on the top, compared to my 3 on the bottom, but that's okay. This one's brand new. I just got it. It won't look this good for very long, I assure you, especially in the dust storm that I'm about to enter. But really happy to have this one on board. Okay, finishing off the clothing. Z-Packs rain pants, wind pants, all kinds of pants. These are just great for whatever. Are they my favorite rain pants? No. I mean, I've just got these, and look, you can already see that the tape is coming off them. They're not my favorite pants. Let's just put it that way. But for now, until I find something better that weighs as light as these do, they're going to do. If the tape comes off them, I don't care anyways. It's not what I buy them for. I buy these for in towns when I'm doing laundry. I buy these for at nighttime to keep me warm at night. For the weight, the heat that I get off of these for the weight is a great investment. Heat to weight ratio is amazing. Once the tape comes off, I'll just leave it off, because really I don't care if I get wet. Like, I'll wear my pants in the rain and just be happy that the rain's washing my pants for free. These pants dry in a half hour anyway. What do I care? But yeah, so yeah, rain pants, Z-Packs. They cost way more than they should, but again, you know, you got to pay for these things. I have a saying: buy once, cry once. Use them as long as you can. One of my luxury items, and I'm not really sure I call it a luxury item. However, some people choose to just use say a pump bag from your quilt and just fill it up with clothes, which I don't have the luxury of doing because I'm wearing my clothes. I just don't have that many spare clothes that I can fill it up. So I use a Cedar Summit Aero. This is a premium, the Aero Premium. It's the one that has the nice, soft, warm fabric on it. Like I say, this is a large. It's a bit of a luxury item, yes. It is like 4 ounces, so it's not light by any means. But you know what? If I sleep well, I'm well rested, I'm happier on trail, I'm hiking. I just love it. Hey, moving right along. Swiss Army knife. Tiny little one. It's probably the smallest one you can buy. I use it. I've been using it for years. I got this one. It's pink, pinkish purple, 20 bucks. The best thing about it is it has scissors. I use it to cut my nails. It has tweezers, which is very important for ticks. You combine this with a nice little mirror, a light mirror, which I have. And it also has it has a little knife. It's not terribly big, but it's useful for little things. It cuts cheese, great. I gotta say that much. And then it has nothing that I would use, but a little nail file with a screwdriver, like a flathead screwdriver kind of attachment. It's just a great little knife. It's for me, it's all you really need. Now, a subject I'm still very conflicted about: hats. I bought this hat in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. This is a hat I used on the Camino de Santiago, and I hated it for the longest time. I just wanted to hate this hat. It makes me look like a dork. But you know what? As time went on, I started loving this hat just because of its complete usefulness. As you may know, the PCT is terribly, terribly windy. I do also have another Waldo. However, Waldo, at the first sign of wind, just blows away. On the top of a mountain, 14,000 foot mountain, I'll lose Waldo. He'll be gone anyways. I'd rather have a hat than no hat, especially in the desert section, which is also very, very windy. And that's why California has the biggest wind farms in the world. This is not affected by wind. It has a little flap that I can put around to cover the back of my neck. It's wide brim all the way around, whereas this one's quite narrow on the sides. So I still get a lot of sun coming in on the sides with Waldo. This one isn't. This one's terribly wide. I mean, it covers everything all around, 360. Do I think it looks any better? No, but it never blows off my head. It'll just flip up like this in the wind, but it'll never blow off my head. Also, as opposed to this one is washable. I can throw it in the washing machine. So I think this is going to be the hat that I take with me for the PCT. This is a Columbia, it's called a Pat, Columbia Pat hat. I don't know what else to tell you about it. You can just fold it up, throw it in your pack if you're not using it. You can't do that with Waldo. And it has this, which I don't particularly care for, but I have a feeling that if I'm wearing it and this is under my chin, it's just another way of not losing it in high wind. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this hat on the piece. I think I just talked myself into it right here and right now. I asked Bax. He didn't have any opinions on which hat to wear, so I guess it's up to me. That's it. That's the gear I'm using this year. What is the total weight of all of that? Because I am using my iPhone and an action camera for videos. My total base weight is 10.54 pounds. So we'll call it 10.5 pounds. Would I like it to be a little lighter? Of course I would. I always would. But considering I'm not carrying a stove, that's nice. Considering I carry less food, that's nice. I'm wearing less clothing. I don't have any sleep gear this year. I got rid of the leggings. I got rid of a lot of things that I was carrying last year. I don't carry the Sky Goat. There's just no point in having a Sky Goat and a Puffy. One or the other. Don't carry both. It's overkill. For me, it's overkill. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying for me, personally. At night, I have an amazing quilt now. Probably the best quilt I've had. And I just look forward to tackling some pretty adverse conditions. This tent's near dead anyways. It's got over 2,500 miles on it. Actually, closer to 3,000 miles on it. I don't expect it to last much longer, but I will get every bit of mileage I can out of it. You scrimp and you save, and you just kind of do the checks and balances. And I still think it's not ultralight. Ultralight is under 10 pounds. So this is not ultralight, but it's pretty lightweight. I think with food and water, I will never go over 23 pounds. I've already weighed the food I have. 5 days supply of food is 5.5 pounds. That puts me around 15, 16. Another 6 pounds of water, which is 3 liters. And I'm good to go. I think anytime your total weight is under 25 pounds, I think it's a pretty good comfort range to hike in, at least for me. So, and that's it, guys. That's all I have. That's my loadout for the PCT 2024. I'll see you out there. Hope you follow along. I'm hoping for a great year. This will be a year I finish 2 through hikes. Pretty happy about that. Let's go get it.